Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Everyday Heroes podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, and I have a special guest who I wish I had at the beginning when my son was diagnosed with autism, because she would have rocked my world. But not all is lost, don't worry. I'm just going live over here. Um, I'm so grateful that I found her page because as a homeschooling mum, I'm constantly looking for activities to teach my
Right.
child. Now, this is probably the likelihood of most parents, even if they do go to school, sometimes it's always good to brush up on those skills. And sometimes you see maybe there's a lag in one area that maybe you think school might be covering that you need them to learn. You might want to be doing some extra additional support with them. So today we have Awa, which apologies if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
No, no,
Is that
you're right. You're right. You're right.
okay? Good. Okay, good. And she owns and runs a page on Instagram called My Busy Kid. And I
Mhm.
absolutely adore this page. Like, I don't think you understand
Thank
how much
you.
I love it. It is, I don't even understand how your brain works, first of all. So, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your page. Welcome to the Everyday Heroes podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm equally, honored and grateful to join here because this is a great platform where we can reach, more parents and families that, need similar kind of help or information. So I'm really happy to be here and thanks to you for, allowing me to be here on this platform.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, just tell me a little bit around what prompted you to start My Busy Kid? What was it that would drew you to begin the account in the first place?
Right. So, it all started with the biggest thing that happened to all of us. That was the pandemic, the COVID in
Yep.
2020. So my son was going in pre-K. He was 3 years old at that time. And then after 3 months of pre-K, the school stopped, like all shut down. So we were stuck at home, and it was an everyday problem, like how to keep him busy, how to keep him, do something meaningful and productive, which is not screen. We wanted something which is
Yes.
screen free, right, at such a young age. So that's when I started exploring and seeing what else we can do, and I explore that we can do some simple activities at home to make him learn and as well as educate him and keep him busy at the same time. So that's how I started it, and then eventually I thought, maybe we can share it with our friends or people we don't even know, but who are there, stuck in the same situation. So
Hmm.
that made me start the page on Instagram, and since then I've started, and rest is history. So yeah, and I have been really enjoying, and this has become my passion now.
Oh, I love that. And so, do you have a
Yeah.
teaching background?
No, I don't have as such a teaching background. I'm basically an engineer, and I have worked in the software industry for a while before I became a mother. But I really enjoyed teaching. That's kind of my passion. Like even when I was like in high school, I used to teach my younger siblings. So I
Yeah,
think it was
right.
just inside me somewhere, and this it came out through this.
And I want
Yeah.
the listeners to hear that you don't have a teaching background, but you have created something magical, something amazing that is changing the directory or the direction, I should say, of your children's lives. And I want that to empower the parents that are listening that probably are thinking in the back of their minds, oh, I can't do this. I don't know. I'm
Right.
not a teacher. You know, I don't know. And this is one thing I'll definitely put my hand up and say this. I had these thoughts when I was first starting homeschooling. Like, I don't
Right.
know. I'm not a teacher. Well, like let's put it into context here. I'm not teaching calculus. I'm teaching grade
Right.
2. Like let's just calm the farm, pump the brakes. We just need to look at what this child needs to learn in order for him to or her to really excel. So I really hope that that is something that parents are listening to that they can take empowerment from. So I love that. I'm just going to reach over here because my notes. I didn't get my notes. Did you notice any developmental changes or any sort of changes at all once you started teaching your children in the way that you do on the page?
Right. So yes, certainly yes. I started like seeing two major shifts. One was the curiosity, and the
Yeah.
other was creativity. Because that has to be self-driven. You cannot sit in a classroom and just you can force a child to like do this. So it comes And especially, children copy what their parents do all the time,
Yes.
like that's how they learn, right? So when they saw me, like, mommy is doing this activity and we have to learn, so they just started, developing that creativity. And then my son, when he got older, like 5, he
Yes.
started tweaking those activities and he came up with his own idea. So that really amazed me, like how much, our own actions can
Mm.
foster and, cultivate their own thoughts. So apart, like, of course he learned ABCs and numbers and math and all this, but the bigger but on a bigger picture, if I would say, the things that he will carry always in his life with this learning would be the feeling of curiosity and creativity. So I think that it was a big game changer. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
because so often, I don't know whether you've heard this yourself, but often I've heard that creativity is somewhat stomped out in school because, you've got to
Yeah.
follow a specific routine and there's not that
Right.
ability to just, be free flowing. But the fact that both of your children were able to develop that curiosity
Right.
and that creativity is something that I think a lot of parents are looking for, especially the parents that are following me in terms of raising autistic children, right? We
Right.
want them to
Right.
be creative in their own right. We want them to learn
Yes.
what they're interested in. Because once we know what they're interested in, then we can take that and pull that apart and teach them the ABCs, the numbers, the
Correct.
sentences, the
Correct.
comprehension.
Yeah.
So I really, really love that. Um, and so, can I, first of all, I should ask you, and, are either of your children neurodivergent or are they both neurotypical?
No, so they are not neurodivergent.
Okay.
And yeah.
That's fine. No, I just wanted to just check so that the listeners could
Sure,
hear
sure,
because
sure. That makes
it's
sense.
definitely one aspect teaching a neurotypical child than it is teaching a neurodivergent child. But
Yeah.
I always would say to either friends or clients that we must presume competence, right? We must
Mm-hmm.
presume
Mm-hmm.
that they can do it.
Yes.
We've just got to find
Yes,
the
yes,
right way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Every child has been born with a special, their own kind of liking, and they have some, intelligence which comes out, through these kind of ways, like uh, when we started doing activities, all the sort of things that I put on my page. So then I came to know, like my son is more interested in science and math, and he likes doing those things, while my daughter is like, she was more on the creative side, she likes more doing like creating things. So yeah, it really helps as a parent, to understand your child better. And even if, my kids go to school, they're not homeschooled, they go to regular schools, the conventional teaching methods, which is perfectly fine. And but we still do these activities at home, and I try to, do every day, if not every day, like at least thrice in a week, because it really helps to do something which is, out of the box. Or, like you said earlier, like even to revise your concepts, maybe they're lagging behind in something, or
Mhm.
they want to, practice more on that. It really helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And do you think that it's important for parents to start these sort of activities regardless of where their child is at? A lot of the time, when we have parents who are raising autistic children, the child might be 10 age wise, but mentally they are probably a little bit further behind. They might be
Right.
maybe, a thought process of maybe like a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old. Do you think it's important, no matter what age you are, to just start, to just begin?
Yes, yes,
Mm.
absolutely. In fact, there are a lot of parents who, messaged me back after looking at the activities and trying with their own children. And they were the parents of autistic children. And they said, like, your activities really helped us, because, like, some autistic children, they learn later in the time to write, maybe
Mhm.
writing or reading. So those activities actually help them to start on those skills. And it was, just like sometimes you just know, same conventional type of things don't hit those children so much, because they
Mhm.
have different emotional needs and they need different type of learning methods which are not conventional. Like you can,
Mm.
like a sensory exposure, like learning through Play-Doh, or using
Yes.
salt writing trays. That makes such a big difference for them, and makes learning really exciting for them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that is something that parents can, because we're always looking for those sensory strategies to regulate
Right.
them. But let's look at those
Right.
sensory strategies on how to teach them, right? Let's flip the
Correct.
coin
Correct.
and let's see
Exactly.
what we can do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're not going to find someone as committed as a parent raising an
Exactly.
autistic child, right? Like, I don't
Yes,
care
absolutely.
which teacher you find, a
No,
parent
not
will walk over hot coals for this child, right?
exactly. Nobody can do like the parents do for their children, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. So as I mentioned before, my community is largely based around parents raising autistic children.
Right.
And they've got a lot going on, right? Let's be honest,
Yeah,
especially if
yeah,
they've got a
absolutely.
new yeah, if they've got a new diagnosis, they're trying to manage the new diagnosis, they're trying to manage the child with
True.
the behaviors, they're trying to manage their own grief and their own overwhelm. What would you say, or what tips or advice would you give parents
Mhm.
who want to start doing these activities but have no idea what to do? What would you say to
Right.
them is the best way forward?
So, like two to three things that I would say is first and foremost is like, create a very, a very inviting learning space for a child. Does not have to be a big fancy room and a lot of elaborative things. Just maybe just a small corner where, you can have some learning materials and where it is easily accessible for the child. So, it really helps for the child to start learning when there is a very happy learning space kind of thing. So
Yep.
that really helps. And then absolutely keeping it very simple and easy, because we as parents have so many things to take care of, right? And especially when
Yep.
you're dealing with something which is new for you. So keeping it simple and low key and easy, and not not everything is for everyone. So you have to understand, like, maybe uh, some type of sensory material is too much for me. I cannot manage that type of level of mess, or things that come with it. So you can just skip that. It's not that you have to do it. If Play-Doh works for your child, go with Play-Doh. If
Mhm.
kinetic sand works better for you, go with that. So you have to find like which areas are better for you. And then I think the other thing is, like, especially for autistic children, I think the sensory element plays a very, very vital role in their learning, right?
Mm.
So using adding those sensory, like, if you have Play-Doh, you just tweak it and you learn addition with it, you learn counting with it. So your child is learning, they have sensory exposure, so it stimulates their emotions and regulates it. And you have a fun learning time, which is
Yes.
not too difficult to do. And
Yeah.
it's not a lot to the parent also, right? Because even I have two kids, and sometimes it feels so overwhelmed to do so many things and do activities on that. So
Mhm.
yeah, and using us, and especially like from what the feedback that I got from parents who had autistic kids, is that using colors
Mhm.
in their learning really helps a lot. Like, if you just do paint and learn something around that, like we do activities where we trace the numbers and letters using paint and paintbrush, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes, so it is such a happy activity even for my children. They just love painting over it, and it's fun, and they learn how to be able to write those letters and numbers later. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. I think that parents can feel discouraged, definitely.
Mhm. Mm.
But I love the biggest point I wanted to make was that it doesn't have to be expensive. This is what I've
Correct.
realized, like when I've
Correct.
been looking through your page, a lot of the things that parents have, they've already got them in the house. Play-Doh,
Yes.
Uno,
Yes.
paint. Like you've already got these things in the house that
Yeah.
you would have had for your children. So why not put it in place so that you can teach your child
Hmm.
in a fun way? So this, it doesn't
Exactly.
have to be an expensive outing,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Like just some simple paint, Uno cards, like you said, a dice, and just very simple supplies that are not expensive and they're not overwhelming as well for parents, because you just cannot keep on buying everything that's available on the internet. It becomes too much. So yeah,
Absolutely.
just simple things make life so easy. I love that.
Yes. And you can get sucked into the whole, well, if this is the way she
Yes.
does it, I need to get it done like this too. Like it's
Yes.
just,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be that way. Just try, we're trying to alleviate that stress by
Hmm.
looking at the things that you've got at home. Um,
Correct.
So, if you obviously you've done a lot of different activities with your children, which
Right.
I
Right.
absolutely adore. But if you were telling parents of autistic children, what would be the first activity that you would recommend for them? Now, bearing in mind, obviously, people who are on this page have children anywhere from 2 years old all the way up
Right.
until adult children. So I
Yeah.
know it's a broad range, but if you had to pick one activity that would
Hmm.
really be beneficial to just get them engaged into learning at home in terms of using this different technique, what would you recommend?
So, like I said, one, I would definitely start using paint as a medium to teach something, because
Yeah.
I think color is like every child's favorite thing.
Yeah.
And then I would also, involve like the sensory bags, where you put in
Yeah,
like
right.
paint in a Ziploc bag and just tape it down, and you can help them trace the letters or shapes or write numbers on it. It is such a fun experience, and it is not at all messy. So, as a parent, I love that because it's so
Yes.
easy to keep the mess, contained.
Yep.
And yeah, and so certainly, so it's like you said, like it depends on the age and what type of things we are teaching. But I think I would always keep in mind what my child loves. Like, if my child loves painting, let's do everything around painting to
Yeah,
start
right.
with, right?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
in the beginning you want it to be successful and enjoyable. Like, okay, yes, we did it and my child enjoyed. You want to get that positive affirmation, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
or if my child loves Play-Doh, let's maybe count Play-Doh balls and learn counting or learn addition with that. So
Yeah.
yeah, keeping that in mind, I would do that.
And I love that you went with the paint idea. And the reason I say that is that I've got a lot of people who follow the page that have kids with dysgraphia, so not being able to write, right?
Hmm.
Or having troubles with writing. So, um, you know, if that is an issue, then being able to play with paint, right? Being able,
Right.
that holding that pencil is sometimes so difficult for these
Yes,
children.
so
And
hard.
it doesn't need to be like that. We can teach in other
Right.
ways. And I think that that is the beauty about homeschooling. It is the beauty about teaching at home where you can be creative. It doesn't have to be this way or no way, right? So
Right, right.
you've got that flexibility as
Yeah,
well. And
yeah.
you've noticed that
Exactly.
as well?
Yeah, and like like kids love water, right? So one of the things that we used to do for writing is like I would write numbers or letter with the chalk, and would give my child the brush dipped in the paint, and I tell him just to trace over it. So like
Yes.
you trace and erase with water, and it is so simple. Like during the summertime, especially, you just give them water and a paintbrush. That's
Yeah.
and a chalk. That's all you need. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now then we adapted that to now learning sight words, because he's now 7 years old, right?
Hmm.
So that simple thing is still continuing for us in
Yes.
different ways. So it's I just love the beauty of how it evolves with your child age, and you can just adapt it for different
Yes.
ages.
Yes. So
Even
if
when you
people,
have siblings at home, like I have a 2-year-old and seven, so I have to think from that perspective also. So it's
yeah.
just easy. I give my daughter like simple shapes, and I give my son like some sight words or CVC words to practice. So it just helps that way too.
Absolutely, I love that. Yeah, and it is, and because most parents are do have children with different ages, so it
Yes.
needs to work with different and sometimes you'll find that one child who's older might have autism, whereas the younger child is in neurotypical.
Yeah.
Different ages, different strengths. We've got to work out what works for both.
Yeah.
So I love that. Okay, so we are down to rapid fire questions. So are
Okay.
you ready? Okay. And
Yes.
this is not too difficult. Just I decided to make the rapid fire questions so that people could just answer off the top of their head, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can overthink your answers, and I don't want that to be the case. So, what's one piece of advice that you would give to parents who are just starting their journey with autism and want to teach their children a little bit more at home?
So I would say keep it simple and easy, and just have fun with your children while learning, and you can help make a very really special bond while doing your learning journey. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Fun is the most important part.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and not to overthink it, not to worry that you're
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
somehow getting it
Overthinking
wrong.
kills it. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
What's the most valuable lesson that you've learned from your children when you've been trying to teach them?
Oh, I think lots, because they actually taught me a lot of things, but I think the most important thing that I have learned is like just to be in the moment and have fun and
Yeah.
enjoy with them. Yeah, and just create so many, because of this I have so many special memories with them. So yeah,
Yes, yes.
embracing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important. How do you handle moments of doubt or overwhelm that may even come up for you around teaching your children?
Right. So, like so every activity is not as, will not be a successful one. There will be like
Yeah, right.
things that your child is not in the mood, he's not willing to do it. So I think moments like that, as a parent, we have to understand that, sometimes you just don't have to, you just have to move yourself back, and maybe take a pause, take a break, and then try again next time. Or maybe
Mhm.
if something is not working for your child, then change it and do it some other way. So yeah,
Yes.
that thing we have to adapt as per our child's, moods and needs, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to point that out. Like, I obviously, as I mentioned before, we homeschool my son. If I can see
Right.
that he is dysregulated, I can
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you that we are not homeschooling that day, right?
Right,
I'm
exactly.
not even, because
Exactly.
you know what's going to happen is I'm going to try and homeschool. He's going to be completely dysregulated. I'm going to then become dysregulated and angry and upset that we're not sitting down. All the thoughts come into my head. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst mum. I'm the
Yes,
worst teacher. I don't know what I'm
exactly.
doing,
Exactly.
but it's not worth it. Like, if we just had, maybe he had a really bad night's sleep that night before.
Yeah.
Maybe, he had a sore tummy. Maybe there's like a whole host of things that
Yeah.
parents, especially parents of children who are non-speaking, aren't able to figure out what's going on with their child because they can't
Right.
verbalize what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Correct.
just like I said, pump the brakes. Don't worry about it, you
Yeah,
know?
so just take a break, maybe
Yep,
eat your favorite ice cream or read a
yep,
book together, and just take a
yep.
pause, because we are not in a rush to go and reach the finish line first. No, it's
So,
all about like learning with fun and more hands-on experience. So I think, yeah, down the line, that matters the most. I
yes,
think,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. What's a sensory tool or it's like a resource that you would use that you have found very helpful?
Okay, so there are a couple of them. So I would start with, like, for specifically for writing, I would say using the salt writing trays, where you put salt on a tray and then trace over it.
Okay. Yes.
That is magical. Like, my child did
Really?
not even know how to write a. We did that like for 10, 20 days, and he started writing on with a pen and on a paper, and that was like,
Yeah.
wow, how did you
Yeah.
learn that? And so it is because the it's like, the fingers do it, and then your brain registers it. That experience for a child is very, very monumental. So I think
Yeah.
if
Right.
you're doing writing, that is one big. Then with for math, I would do more like, using Legos, blocks, Play-Doh, or small counters, like maybe even your favorite toys. Like, my son used to love cars, so
Yes.
we used to learn counting with cars. That was his the magical moment. So the more you connect your child favorite things to your
Yes.
learning time, the more fruitful it is. My daughter loves dolls and Barbies and the Disney princess, so we have those, and she's like, yes, I'll gonna count my princess. So
I
because
love that.
they are in a magical world with their
Yeah.
favorite things, their favorite toys. So things like that. And for like alphabets, we used to do lots of things, like mm, using the sand and tracing over it, like I said, paint and
Yes.
water. Yeah,
Yes.
those kind of
Okay.
things. Like, yeah, we
Feel
used
like
to
I should
love
be
those.
taking notes. I feel like I should be like busy scribbling down.
You will find all these on my page, and that's why I created that, because there's so much information we keep forget. Even I forget, like, what did we do last time that was good.
Yeah.
So that Instagram helps to keep a track and record of
Yes.
it. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think that's great. And what's your favorite way to connect with your children outside of whether it's with teaching or not with teaching? What would you say is the best way to connect?
So yeah, apart from like doing all these things, I think reading books with them
Yes.
is one of the best things we do together, and going to our local libraries, and playing board games. Yes, we love playing board games. Like,
Yes.
when my children turned 3 and above, we used to do a lot of board games, and playing with them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
love it.
think
I
books
love.
and board games are one of the favorite, like, our favorite things to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Now, where first of all, where can people find you on Instagram?
So you can go to my page, My Busy Kid.
Yeah, so it's
You can
my underscore busy
busy.
underscore kid.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you have any questions, you need any type of resources, you can just DM me. I can check and reply you back soon. And I would like also to share that I'm gonna maybe in a week or two. So I'll have my website,
Oh,
published. So there will be a lot of free printables that you
yes.
can download instantly and access at your home. All you need to do is just print them and use it. And I have kept printable in a way that it gives you more of a hands-on experience and not just writing and finishing the pages. So yeah, you can access a lot of things from there. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And so, do you have a freebie that you can give to any listeners now at the moment, or is there something that I can link to?
So I have not. So there is a website link. I can share it to you. It's mybusykid.com. It's not published yet, but I will be putting that link on my bio on my
Yes.
Instagram page. So yeah, it will be accessible to everyone.
Okay, great, perfect. And there's definitely some really good resources on the My Busy Kid page. Just at the top,
Yes.
you can just see a few of the highlights have just got some really
Yes.
important
Yes.
things. So that's
Right.
great.
Right.
And
And
the page is,
sorry.
sorry, go
Sorry. You
ahead.
go.
No, you go.
So recently I did like a 15 days of journal activities where you just need a notebook kind of thing. And they are so simple. Yeah, like you'll just take your 5 minutes to prep that, and your child will learn something good from that. So if you are starting new, that is a very good place to start from, I would say.
Yeah, I love that. And when can people find that? Sorry,
Sorry.
where can
On
people
my
find that?
Instagram page. Yeah,
Okay,
on the
great,
Instagram
perfect.
page. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
beautiful. And like, guys, just hear that the page is so successful that it nearly has 500,000 followers.
Yeah,
Did I hear
almost
that?
there.
Did I say that? Like, did I, for the people in the back, 500,000? Okay. Like, I really want you guys to go in and check it out and see what you can do. I cannot wait for the website to go live. I am so excited
Thank
to look at
you.
all those freebies. I think it's really important for parents to know that there is another
Mhm.
way outside of school
Yeah.
if you don't necessarily want to go to school. But even if you do, that you can supplement with these to be able to
Yes.
teach your child. And I think that
Yes,
that's really
absolutely.
important. So, is there
Yes.
anything else that you wanted to add before we wrap things up?
No, I think pretty much, yeah. You can find all, everything that we did since the beginning on the Instagram page. There will be tons of ideas, and I have tried to put, like for the same thing, I have tried to put 2 to 3 different ideas, because I know the same idea doesn't work for every child. So
Yes.
we have done the same thing with different type of techniques. So you can find those and try and see what suits you best. And
Yes.
if you have any question, I'm just, a DM away, and I'll be putting the website link, like I said. So everybody and from anywhere can access those printable, and I know it how much time it will save, for a mother or a father, or maybe even a teacher who's wants to keep her class students engaged for some certain amount of time.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
love that. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting about
Thank you
My
for
Busy Kid.
having me.
Absolutely. I hope that so many people have garnered so many different amazing ideas from you. Hopefully, guys,
Thank you.
go to the page, have a look. It's so important. There are so many things there that you can really take and roll with. It doesn't need to be difficult, it doesn't need to be
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah.
Like Arwa said, you just have to be engaged and in the moment, and you can get it done too.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
thank you so much. And
Thank you
I
for
will,
having me. It was an
anytime.
absolute pleasure, and I am so happy that if anybody getting benefit from this, then that's the biggest success for me. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.